Hey everybody and welcome to the video. I've been challenged to show you all my entire Disney pin collection. So that is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to go through all of the bags and all the loose pins that we've got down here. I'm going to show you every single pin and let's see what we've got. Now that actually doesn't look like quite as many as I thought it was going to be. So all of the pins that you see on the table and those lanyards as well, these were all of the pins that I got in 2024 or towards the end of 2023. So a pretty decent haul for a single year, for me at least. But there's also those two bags right there. The one on the left is bursting to full of pins and also some other stuff. And the one on the right, well, the one on the right is meant to be full of these. There are already some in that bag, but eventually these will make their way in there. So before I put them away, let's show you what else is in this collection. So starting over here on the left, we've got a decent set of the most recent Pirates of the Caribbean pins and lanyard as well from Disneyland Paris. The thing I liked about these pins, other than it's just obviously Pirates, and I generally do tend to pick up any pin that I do see from Pirates, is that particularly with this one, really chunky, heavy pins. This one's quite a heavy one as well. So I just really like them. I like the details that are on them, but problem is once you get one and they're part of a set like that, you kind of then, well, you have to get them all really, don't you? So those are the Pirates ones that I've managed to get this year. Moving down, we've got these two big Thunder pins. Absolutely love these. I love the style of them. And again, very weighty, heavy, chunky pins as well. Unfortunately, I've long since lost the receipts to know how much any of these costs, but I'm going to assume that with these ones, you're probably talking like a mid-range price. So anywhere from sort of like 10 to 15 euros, I would imagine, for them, particularly with, say, like that one that's particularly heavy and chunky. They're always going to cost slightly more. Moving down, we've got the Peter Pan one as well. I don't have a massive amount of character pins. Usually I'll stay quite clear of them, but with Peter Pan is probably my favorite animated movie, certainly Disney movie. So kind of couldn't resist really for that one, so I quite like that one. This one, some of you will recognize this as the pin that we got after I completed the Tower of Terror challenge, which was the first time of me going on that ride. After many years of kind of wussing out, I finally did it and got that pin to commemorate that. Over here, we've also then got the Phantom Manor set, or at least some of the set. Again, I don't get a lot of character ones. That pin there is one of the heaviest pins I've probably ever come across. So it's okay. I'm not a huge fan of Stitch either, but it was one of those pins where I was like, well, it's kind of part of the set, so I'll get it. But these ones though were a lot better because these ones are more themed for the ride characters rather than just a generic Disney character. So you've got Madame Leota, you've obviously got the Manor, you've got the Phantom with Melanie there as well, and then two more of the Phantom there as well. So just a really nice set. Love the style and the design of it. Couldn't really say no to those. Moving over to the right, we've also got a couple of the Marvel pins. These obviously came from the Avengers Campus area of the Studios Park. That one above actually came from the Disney store only a couple of months ago in December. Limited edition release as well, but I just obviously really liked that being a Marvel fan, so I definitely wanted to get those. I do generally like the Marvel pins that they produce, but there's not a lot of them compared to other things. And that obviously also was a Halloween edition as well. On the theme of Pirates again, we've got another couple from, not from the ride, they're just generic kind of Disney pirate pins. Obviously you've got Mickey, and I don't think that's Donald, I think that's Scrooge by the looks of things. I think. Obviously collecting his treasure. Again, generic kind of pirate related pins, but again, if I see something that's pirate related, generally I will tend to get them. And then above that one came from the Disney store a few weeks ago as well. So a good anniversary pin. I always like anniversary pins because they're a bit more special, not just your generic everyday pin. Try and show you on that as well. It is actually quite a 3D effect on that pin. It's quite big and again quite chunky. I'm hoping that is going to be safe in the bag and then it's not going to get crushed. In here, I shall just open this to show you. There we go. So this is the Walt American Diner pin that I got when we were there in September. So this was one of a set of three. They're basically all the same, just in different colors, and I went with the green. I believe the others were red and yellow, but just really nice. You'll see when I go through the bags, probably that one, or it could be that one of the bags, that I do also have another Walt's Diner pin as well. So when I saw this one, I was like, well, kind of be rude not to add to the set. But it's just really nice, and obviously it comes in this really cool box as well. So very kind of commemorative, very limited edition, very, very special. I like that pin an awful lot. Talking about commemorative, we've also got the Disney 100 exhibition pin that we got this time last year. In fact, along with that lanyard in the middle, the blue one. So again, just to commemorate the Disney 100. There are other Disney 100 pins that you will see throughout this collection as well, but that's from the actual event that we went to, the actual exhibition itself that was in London at the Excel Centre. So definitely wanted to get a pin. If memory serves, I think the pin was actually included as part of the entry price for the package that we had, because we did the VIP version of the tour. So I believe that that was included with our entry. There were also different types of pins. They weren't all the same one, and I have seen different ones, but I quite like that one. It's quite nice. Back on the Halloween theme, we've got Pascal as well. I was desperately trying to find some decent Halloween pins this year. Unfortunately, was not successful, I don't think, particularly in finding any, other than this one, which was the kind of the one that I settled on. It's okay, it's a big pin, love the colours, it's very vibrant, very colourful, but there we go, it's just another one for the collection. And then two more above that. These also came from the Disney store last month. We've got the Chinese New Year, Lunar New Year, and then we've also got the one celebrating Hanukkah as well. So we've just got some nice pins. I just think they're nicely designed. Obviously, I'm not, necessarily someone that would celebrate those particular events or times of the year, but I think as pins go, I do think they are particularly nice. So I really wanted to get those, especially that one. I think is just very, very nice, very colourful. Just really like the style of those. So yeah, definitely wanted to get them. Now, along with the 2024 lanyard from Disneyland Paris that you can see there, it did come with these pins. So this was actually part of what they call a starter set. So usually when you get starter sets, it comes with the lanyard and a set of pins to go with them. And they're usually fairly generic, and the idea is that you would be quite happy to trade these ones to try and get something more exclusive in the parks. I've never traded a pin in my life. Personally, I just prefer to collect them. Trading pins is more of an American thing. You won't find it very much in Paris. It does exist, but I have seen cast members in Paris actually say no to trading, whereas in America, I think they're expected to do it a little bit more, and trading is more of an actual thing. So, but I just like these. I liked the set overall. I liked the lanyard, and I like these nice simple pins that come with it. So I wanted to get that, and then also another 2024 one there as well. So hopefully at some point I'll end up with a 2025 pin this year. You never know. I certainly hope so. But of all the pins that are on this table, easily the best one and definitely the most expensive is the Mickey 95 pin, the jumbo pin that you can see right here. It is huge, if you can see how large it is compared up against those smaller round ones there, and compare it to what I'd say are normal sized pins like these two. It is considerably larger. Obviously it comes in a display box as well, so you can tell that it's definitely going to be on the pricier side. If memory serves, I think this was £50, which is the most I've ever paid for a pin, but it was massively limited edition, definitely commemorative, and I would go as far as to say that this is probably the best pin that I have, certainly top 5. There are others that I have more attachment to, but that is just an epic pin. I'm so happy to actually have this one, not just because it's huge and because it's commemorating obviously Mickey 95 and that it's got a limited run, but it's just a gorgeous pin. I really like that one. Easily a favourite, definitely top 5. So there we go. So that is the collection for everything that I got in 2024. The ones that I got towards the end of 2023 were just the two pirate ones down here and the Mickey 95 pin, which I believe I got myself for Christmas or Christmas 2023. And it has occurred to me while making this that I know I bought more pins towards the end of 2023 that aren't here, because I suspect they're already in the bag. So let's start going through those. But we'll start on the one on the left, because we're going to go right back to the very beginning and where it all began. Here we go. This is bag number 1, and these are some of the very first pins that I ever had, going right back to the years where I started going back to Disneyland Paris. There are other things in this bag as well, so that's like a park map piece of art that's in there. But if we just have a look at these ones, you can see that basically 2012 was when I started going back to Disney as an adult and started collecting these pins. So this was probably one of the very first pins that I ever got in 2012. As you can see, we went back in 14, we went back in 19 twice, I believe, 14 again, 15. And in addition to that, I was also getting pins for all of the hotels that I was staying in, because I really liked these key sets that they were doing at the time, which I don't think that they do anymore. So yes, I have stayed at Sequoia Lodge, what was the New York hotel before it changed to the Marvel Hotel. We've got this nice big jumbo pin for Disneyland Park. Disney Dreams still remains my favourite show that they've ever done. Disney Studios, when they change the name of that, I'm going to need to get a new pin. I have stayed in the Disneyland Hotel on a couple of occasions, would certainly like to get back there. And also Newport Bay. Now, Newport Bay, as you can see, is not one of the key pins. I don't know if they ever did one, but unfortunately, by the time I'd gone back there, either they stopped making them as key pins like this, or they never did it for Newport Bay, I don't know. But it is a hotel that I've stayed in. The other one that I have stayed in is Santa Fe, but they don't make pins for Santa Fe, certainly not now anyway. So if I ever find one though, I definitely would like to get one for that part of the collection. Over the page, and these are definitely some of the earliest pins that I've ever had, and you can see, as I was mentioning before, Pirates of the Caribbean does kind of dominate a lot of the collection that I have, and also, as I mentioned before, Peter Pan. So I know that, for example, this one and this one and this one were the three probably earliest pins that I ever got, which was in that 2012 year, and Pirates of the Caribbean was definitely a real focus for me, and I've added some since then. We've got a nice set of pirate pins, so obviously the couple that are still in their packaging that I showed you earlier will go in hopefully on this page, as will that Peter Pan one that I showed you too. We've also got one from the ride there as well, and Skull Rock. I love that pin, massive enamel pin, I really, really like that. So there's just a few of the Pirates ones. And then over on the next page, we've got Pirates of the Caribbean movie ones. Also more weird collectible stuff in the pocket there. That is stuff that came from Florida. You can just about see it through the netting there. These collectible cards that you can get for basically doing a challenge around the park. There's also some park maps in there from Florida as well. So they're all just shoved in the bag. But as you can see, we've got Pirates of the Caribbean movie pins, the On Stranger Tides set. We've also got two different versions of the Aztec Gold. We've got the larger pin, which I think is the one that you can normally get, and then for some reason I managed to find a miniature one, so I got that as well. Other ones from the second movie, and then again from On Stranger Tides as well. So I think these had all come from Disneyland Paris. I don't think I got them from anywhere else. It just so happened that in one of the years that we went, that movie had just come out, so hence they were doing a lot of them. So yeah, more pirate pins. Over on the next page, we start moving into some of the other sets that we've got. We've got a very large collection of Buzz Lightyear pins. I think that, apart from the one in the middle, I think these ones on the outside were bought for me. If memory serves, they were bought back from Florida. And then I got the middle one from Paris. We've also got Toy Story Playland, the Lightyear movie, the Aliens. This one is a very cool pin. This was bought back for me by someone that did the Run Disney event in Paris in, as you can see, 2018. It's a fantastic pin, absolutely love it. It's definitely one of the favorite ones that I have, but I can't take any credit for doing the 5K because I didn't. That was bought for me. I'd love to do it one day, but I love the style of pin, like the medal. Really, really love that. And then it got me into some of the Marvel pins. So we've got Spider-Man there. We've obviously got a little set down here of Avengers ones. We've also got some Grogu. We've got some Star Wars ones going on down here. This is another one of the limited edition ones. I can't move it because BB-8 is in the way, but the Star Wars sort of slot here does move up, and there is a message hidden underneath it, which, if memory serves, just says, "May the Force be with you." So there we go. So we've got some Marvel, some Buzz Lightyear, and some Star Wars. Over on the next page, this is actually my favorite part of the whole collection. First of all, there are some Epcot coins there for your amusement. That's just something else that I've thrown in the bag. But these ones, I absolutely adore this set. This is probably my favorite part of the whole collection. Now, the attractions pins were massively, massively popular for a long, long time, but I don't believe they do them anymore. So this is quite out of date now. But the one thing that I really loved about it was that they really were going out of their way to make these pins in this style for pretty much every ride. Now, I didn't get every single one. This isn't the complete set. I only focused on the rides or the themings that I loved the most. So obviously I had to get Big Thunder, Phantom Manor, Pirates, Peter Pan and Buzz Lightyear. Those were always my favorite rides. But we've also got Star Tours, because naturally I love that one as well. Interestingly, I've actually got two Star Tours pins because they changed their design at some point during the run. We've got the Star Wars version of Hyperspace Mountain, Ratatouille, and the Tower of Terror, which at the time I hadn't gone on, as we mentioned earlier, but I really did like it as part of the set to get to the 10 pin collection. So it's a massive part of the set for me. I really, really love these. Definitely part of the, what I would say, top 5, if you like, part of the collection. And we start getting a little bit more random as we turn the page this time. So we've got some just very, very random pins. So we've got some Cars ones, Ratatouille, we've got the Pride pin, the Mickey anniversary, I think Mickey 90, Indiana Jones, I think that one came from Florida. That one definitely came from Florida, where I went on Expedition Everest. I hated that ride. Celebrating the Main Street Electrical Parade was a limited release pin, so I love that one. We've got this one that celebrates all of the parks. This again does open up, I think, to show you Mickey running through the airport with his luggage, so I like that one. We've also got the Tomorrowland pin, which I had to get because if you've seen the movie, you'll know that it's magic. And another commemorative, what they call the sketchbook collection. It's the only one from the set that I have, but it was just very, very nice. I think it was probably on sale when I got it, and again, limited release. I'm always looking for limited release pins. So there's some random ones. These ones tend to be what I call more the Frontierland set. So obviously you've got Big Thunder Mountain there. We've got the Sheriff. We've obviously got from the Day of the Dead celebrations that they do in Frontierland during the Halloween season at Paris. Big Thunder again. The Lone Ranger, probably one of the most underrated Disney movies, live action, that have ever been made. I love that movie and definitely like getting the pin for that, and another Day of the Dead pin. So just a little Frontierland collection, but as you saw earlier on, we've got some Big Thunder ones that we can add to that now. These couple of pages are really, really special. First of all, in here, these are my Epcot passports. For those of you who know, if you go to Epcot and you get one of these passports, you can go around the world and get it stamped in every location that you go to. So you get a passport for that. Also comes with a badge, if memory serves. And while I was there, it was also the Food and Wine Festival, where you get a second passport. And again, you can kind of stamp your way around eating the world. So I've just got those passport sets in there, which are really, really cool. If you know what they are, you'll know what I mean. If you don't know what they are, go to Epcot. It's great. And then over here, we can see we've got my Florida collection. So these are ones from Walt Disney World, which I went to in 2016. So you've got the commemorative pin with the year on it there. And then we've got a pin for all the parks. So Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Animal Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, and the pin for where I stayed, which was Port Orleans French Quarter. Easily one of the best hotels I've ever stayed in. I absolutely loved it. So a nice little collection there from Florida, somewhere I would definitely love to go back to as soon as I can. Over on the next page, we actually have what is, again, a top 5 pin for me, which is this one here. So when we went to Walt Disney World in 2016, we went to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. And this was one of the limited pins that you could only get on the actual night of the event. So you had to be there to get this pin. And because of that alone, it is one of my favorites, and again, another top 5 pin. But we've also got the Food and Wine Festival, as I mentioned before, we were there for that. And a Haunted Mansion Halloween pin there too. And then we've got a couple of more like generic Halloween pins that I've added in over the years as well, that probably came from Paris, I suspect. Down here, I did the Keys to the Kingdom tour, so you get a pin for doing that as well. One of the best Disney experiences I have ever had in my whole life. Disney Keys to the Kingdom is something that is so worth doing. Going to Florida is sometimes a bit of a once-in-a-lifetime thing. I think if you're going to go, take advantage of the opportunity and do the Keys to the Kingdom tour. If you're a big Disney nut, if you like Disney history like I do, definitely worth doing. And you get a pin for it as well. You got the pin trading pin, another Halloween one, and you've got Sheriff's badge with my name on it. So there we go, just a few like commemorative special event pins. And again, I really, really love the ones that are on that page. Now we're getting to the end of what's in this bag, and on this final page here we've got some Phantom Manor, well, Haunted Mansion, as well as Phantom Manor and Pirates of the Caribbean ones. But interestingly, with those 2 Pirates ones there, those 2 Haunted Mansion ones there, and those 2 Haunted Mansion one there, another one there, and that Seven Dwarfs Mine Train one, they were mystery box pins. So they don't do them in Paris because of some kind of law that they have over there. But in America, mystery pin boxes are definitely a thing. So you buy a box, you don't know what pins are inside it. You know it's a set usually of about 10 different types, and you're going to get 2 in a box, but you don't know what they are. So I obviously ended up with those 2 as the pair, those 2 from that one, those 2 from that one, and then I think that one came with that one. And then there's obviously some like extra Pirates ones that I've managed to get as well that I've added to the collection, some more up there, and Phantom Manor ones. So they're a bit of a jumble, these ones, but again, 2 of my favourite attractions ever, and all of the ones that I've ever had out of the mystery boxes. Also down here, we've got what I would call a badge, but what in America I think they would call it as buttons. So we've got, obviously if you go to Florida, you will often get badges given to you if it's your first time or if it's your birthday. There's the Epcot one that came with the passport. There's an Animal Kingdom one. Actually, I think that Epcot one down there is what came with that. So you've got all kinds of different badges on here. I don't really count them as part of like the pin collection because they're not pins, but it's just something to kind of add. That square one there came from Keys to the Kingdom tour, which had your name on it. That's the only one that I think came from Paris, which was the Halloween badge from a few years ago. So just something else to kind of add to this ever expanding bag. In the bottom of the bag, we've got all of the backs and the plastic cases that some of these pins have gone on, so they just get shoved in the bottom of this, which is why it's expanding. Those are the boxes for the mystery pins, so you can see that I had some Magic Kingdom 45th anniversary ones, Haunted Mansion, as you know, and Pirates of the Caribbean. And then also down here, you've got all the lanyards. So I won't go through those. I'll save that for a different video if you really wanted to see. But there are some fantastic lanyards that I've got in here. I will just show you one, which is one of my absolute pride and joy Disney collectibles. And here it is. So buried at the very, very bottom of all of those lanyards is this one, which has this most enormous medallion on the end of it, which came from, as you can see, a pin hunt event in 2010. Now, I didn't do the event, but they clearly had some of these left over when I went in 2012. Was able to get the last one. Now, I love this because it's very, very rare. It's also ridiculously large compared to the width of a normal lanyard like that one. You can see the difference. It's also incredibly thick material. It's so unbelievably well made, but that medallion alone is so cool. I absolutely adore that. So it's one of the best things. It's not a pin, but it is from a pin event, and obviously you can put pins on it if you really wanted to, but I absolutely cherish that like crazy. That is such a cool piece. I'm so happy that I've got that. It is part of my pride and joy in this set, honestly. So now we go on to bag number 2, and full disclosure, I'm not sure that everything in this bag is as organized as it is in that one. I'm expecting quite a few loose pins in here, and I've already forgotten what's actually in it. So let's take a look, because this is going to be a surprise for both of us. So already I can tell you that this bag is definitely going to be a mess, but we have in the middle here another limited edition pin, I believe came from 2023. We've got the 2023 year pins, which was also the year of the 30th as well. So we've got a 30th anniversary pin, another Walt Disney Studios pin, which I didn't realize that I had, which is quite actually cool because obviously they're changing the name of that. We also have these 5 here that was part of a lanyard set. The lanyard is probably in the other bag. You might find it in here. Actually, I think it's just peeking through there. And we also have the Walt Diner pin 30th anniversary one that I mentioned to you earlier. So obviously, as I mentioned, we've now got that one, but we do also have the 30th anniversary version. So straight off the bat, we're doing quite well with this bag. You can also see, by the way, that they've changed the design of the bag, so you don't get any of the net pockets in these ones anymore, and also the pages are considerably smaller. But you can see that I've managed to get some of the Avengers Campus and Spider-Man ones. We've obviously added a few more to this now. I really would like them to push a few more Avengers style pins. Personally, I've never been overly impressed with what they've brought out so far. It generally tends to be really heavily Spider-Man themed and very little of anything else, which I think is a shame because I think you could do so many different pins. But there we go. So it's just the start of a little kind of collection, a little set there. I think that one probably would be my favorite of the lot that's on that page. But this, unfortunately, is where everything starts getting messy because, as you can see, these have never been properly stored. They have literally just been shoved in the bag. So let's go through them. Now, first of all, you'll remember that the Mickey 95 was a jumbo pin. This is the only other jumbo pin that I have, which is the Thanos gauntlet, the Infinity Gauntlet from the movies. Again, I feel like you could do so much with Marvel for pins with these. It is large, certainly compared to a lot of other pins, as you can see. There is a considerable size difference with this, which is probably the reason why I bought it, just because obviously size matters. But there we go, so a good little start for that one, and as you can see, it's still sealed up. I've never gone out of my way to open it. We also have this one, which was from the Magic Kingdom 50th anniversary and another limited release. But I absolutely love the style of that pin, the pocket watch style, commemorating the 50th anniversary of the Magic Kingdom. It's just a gorgeous pin. Really, really love that. And again, I would put that as, yeah, top 5. There may actually be more than 5 pins in what I call my top 5, but this is definitely one of my favorites right here. Now, I'm not going to spend too much time looking at the ones that are in here because I did do unboxing videos for all of these when I got them, but as you can see, more from the Disney 100 range. I just really liked that enamel style with the singular colour, especially Iron Man, but you've also got some classic characters and Grogu as well, just because they're just a really nice set. I really liked them when they came out. There are so many more that I didn't get, a lot of Marvel ones, and of course also Star Wars ones and classic Disney, and I made sure that I got a Pixar one in there as well. It was a massive collection, and I just stuck to these 5 because there were so many that you'd be spending ridiculous amounts of money to get the whole set, but I'm happy with those 5. I do like them quite a lot. We also have another Haunted Mansion pin. This one's actually from the movie that came out in 2023, I think, around Halloween time. You can't see it because obviously it's all sealed up, but the center part does rotate and there's a different logo on the other side of that central sort of circle. Another limited edition release, which is, as I say, something that I'm always looking out for. Very, very cool. I wasn't a huge fan of the Haunted Mansion movie, but I love the ride, so I still wanted to get the pin. If I'm going to be really picky, I'd say that the original Haunted Mansion movie with Eddie Murphy is actually a little bit better, but that's just my opinion. And then there's these Halloween pins. Now, it was these that reminded me that I knew that I had more from 2023 that I had forgotten about. So we obviously have a starter set here with the pack of 4. Again, I reviewed these when I got them. I did an unpackaging video, so you can go and watch that if you really want to know how I feel about these, but definitely love them. Love the colours, very unique, very vibrant, very, very cool. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. That was my pin collection. In both of those bags and also the ones that I bought last year. Now, of course, I'm hoping that I will be adding to this, and with any luck, we'll be able to go to Disneyland Paris again this year, all being well. So that is the whole collection as it stands at the moment. I dare say it will get bigger over time. I'm sure that it will. Now I need to go and find a home for all of these loose ones and get them put away into the bags and get a little bit more organized with them. So with that said, hopefully you've enjoyed the video, hopefully you enjoyed the collection. If there's any of these particular pins that you want to see in more detail or get a close-up of, leave a comment and I'll do a community post or something like that to show you them in pictures. But yeah, that's it, that's the set. So with that said, I'll see you guys in the next video. The vlog is over.